This is an R tutorial. Got 2 minutes? Learn some statistical programming in R. It's easy, free, and fun. This tutorial, how many different ways can you slice and dice, subset a data table in R? If any of these techniques give you a headache, check out the tutorial titled How to Work with Data Tables in R. Then give this tutorial another whirl. You can do it. I know you can. I'm rooting for you. Alright, subscripting. There's 5 different ways to subscript in the R language. Let's load the empty cars data table. The first way is to leave everything missing. If you leave everything missing, it's going to return everything. Here's the rows parameter position. Here's the columns parameter position. There's nothing in both, so X is the same as empty cars. The second technique is put a character vector in the rows or columns parameter position. Here's a character vector containing MPG, carb, and gear character strings. Put that into the columns parameter position of empty cars, and X is now only those 3 columns. The third technique is to put in a positive numeric vector. Here's a positive numeric vector, 1, 11, and 10. Put that into the columns parameter position of empty cars. Save that into X, and now you've got X, which is only the 1st, 11th, and 10th column of empty cars. Fourth technique, negative numeric vector. This drops stuff. Here's a numeric vector with 3 negative numbers, 1, 11, and 10. If you put that into the columns parameter position of empty cars, it's going to return all of the columns except for the 1st, 11th, and 10th column of empty cars. Fifth and final technique, a logical vector. Stick with me here. Here's the names of empty cars. Here's another character vector called drop cars. Here's a logical test as to whether or not each of the names of empty cars are in the character vector drop calls. Now I'm going to reverse that by putting the exclamation point in front of it and save that result into keep calls. Keep calls is now a logical vector. Put that logical vector into the columns parameter position of empty cars, and X is everything except for the 3 keep calls. Cool, great, awesome, handy dandy. These 5 subscripting techniques work for both rows and columns. So here's a logical vector in the rows parameter position that returns all of the rows where horsepower is greater than 100. Cool. Both rows and columns parameter positions can be filled in with any combination of these 5 techniques at once. So here's a logical test in the rows and a character vector in the columns, and yet another work of R.